so I wanted to do flips, like a flip to fakie and hand plants over the tree and stuff like that. But it was all like trial and error stuff. Like we didn't have a foam pit to practice a big hand plant on. It was just over and over and over again until you get it. And for me, I quickly would realize that the special moves that I did that were so much different were more coveted than the ones where I tried to keep up with the rest of the herd. Like if I flipped a really big jump in my video part, nobody was like, dude, that jump you flipped was ridiculous. Like I never got that. It was always like, dude, you crashed into a guitar solo? Like, are you fucking kidding? That was awesome. And so it was always like the dumb or more unique I could be. Those were my bangers. Robbie Borden would do 2 heinous jumps that no one else would ever want to do, and that was his section. And then in between that was him doing like wall rides and cutties down a trail and everything else. And then he had a heinous jump in the beginning and one at the end. And that's his video part, and it's freaking ridiculous, and no one else can do that either. Mine was like, I really wanted to put my own stamp on, well, like everybody, on your Segi and make it something that was extra special. So I would always try to think out of the box. So I was probably one of the first guys to do like a flip to fakie on like a dirt quarter, or definitely a hand plant. And I did that hand plant over that tree in Australia. And that really put me on the map with some real BMX guys at the time, because I remember these guys were talking about it, and I was like, dude, that was me. And they're like, that was you that did that? I'm like, that was me. I did the neutral gear. Did you ever try messing around with a little blank gear on your cassette?
My brother and I might have. I was really bad at riding fakie, even with a neutral. But you also did the winch thing, like the wakeboard winch.
Yeah.
It's called a winch, right? So that
Yeah.
was
It's a
kind of
high
outside the
speed winch.
box. Yeah, high
Yeah.
speed winch to get you into, instead of getting you into sort of uphill obstacles. And it was also, yeah,
Right.
you were super unique, like versatile and super unique. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd always try to come up with some sort of prop or something else like that. And dude, that winch was wild. I still have it actually.
Really?
Yeah,
So
it's a
through
13
Red Bull that you
horsepower.
got it, or what?
Yeah, yep. And that was in the day where I think I broke my femur, and I rode him up something. I was watching like Fuel TV, and they were doing all this like winch wake skate stuff. And I was like, I wonder if I could get towed like into shit like uphill, like towed uphill into it. Like I'm picturing like a step up into a quarter and then a step back down, but the step down had like a grind box on it. So I built some pretty unique stuff and made that happen. And that winch was really pretty fun. I don't see anybody else kind of doing anything like that these days. It's a weird kind of a thing it's a lot of work to get something like that made and built and everything. But anyway, it was a blast to fuck with. And then have that neutral gear, and try to showcase that. I tried at one point getting that thing packaged and for sale, and I sold it through a company named SIC, and they just didn't have distribution enough to move it or anything like that. But it is still something that people run today as a neutral gear.
I
Like you can
don't
just
think
put
there's
spacers
enough
on.
people with the talent to use that thing. No offense. Like, it's quite
Well, the
it's a
slopestyle
niche thing,
guys.
but it's so difficult to
Yeah.
do it properly, isn't it? Well, for you, it's not.
Yeah. Well, no, it takes practice like anything, but you shift down into it and then you do your move and then you come back out of your move and you have to be coasting and then you shift back up out of it
Okay,
and
hang on, hang on,
pedal.
hang on. We for the listener and even on YouTube, what he's saying when he does a move, you have to ride down the road and you have to bunny up 180. That in itself is like 0.0001% of the world on a bike can do that. That's what I mean. To get into the coasting thing, you've got to be able to bunny up 180. People are like, we've lost them already. I can barely bunny
Yeah.
up 180 anymore. And then land
Anymore.
perfectly and then coast backwards. People are like, what are these guys talking about?
Yeah. So it was stuff like that that gave me, I felt like a little bit more edge in that New World or arena or those videos, because it was something that it was like that fuckery that people see and they're like, is that a magic trick? Like, how come that worked the way that it did?